Report of the New World, though the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you check out blackfoxnews.com/shop. The link is in the Black Fox News Instagram bio, where you could go and actually get grab you some paraphernalia, actually support the movement as we continue to support y'all. You can get this this iceberg Black Fox News all white hoodie, you know what I'm saying? You can get it different colors, shapes, and sizes too. It can match anything in your wardrobe and keep you swaggy. So definitely, hopefully you'll support the movement. Now on to this news, yo. This dude Trump never ceases to amaze a nigga, but last night he actually put out this tweet with a video where he's addressing the country, and he's basically calling on Congress to raise that weak ass stimulus check that they approved for everybody to get of $600. He asked them to raise it to $2,000 per person and $4,000 per couple. So he was also calling for them to cut all of the what he considered wasteful spending that's attached to the bill, and he was basically saying, he will, if they don't, then the next administration is going to have to worry about coming up with a COVID relief package. Maybe that next administration will be me. Who knows? I mean, this is what this guy is saying now. On the surface, it seems like an attempt to actually regain power and regain the support of the American people. Because oddly enough, this goes against his own party's wishes. I mean, but over this past year, it's been the Democrats that have been pushing to have a higher stimulus check given out to the American citizens, and it's been the Republicans that have actually been trying to block that. And the Democrats didn't hesitate to remind the people of that. You had Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, the House Speaker of the House and the Senate Minority Leader, respectively, both tweeting out their support. Nancy Pelosi, doubling down on what they were already trying to do. Nancy Pelosi saying that the Democrats are all in for a unanimous decision this week. Let's do it. And you have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib. These congresswomen have already tweeted out last night that they already drafted an amendment to the bill to add $2,000 of a payment to the American citizens or whatever. And you even had Chuck Schumer responding to AOC's tweet saying I'm all in, let's do it. Mitch, where you at? And it's Mitch McConnell that's actually being put in a crazy scenario, because he's been pretty much staunch and blaming the Democrats for this, but these are things that have been considered egregious spending being proposed by the Democrats. So it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. If they don't agree on anything, this will be it'll lead to a government shutdown. It's unsure if Trump said he's gonna if Trump didn't say if he's going to veto the bill, so it's unsure if he's going to do, especially since it was passed with a veto-proof majority. So we'll see how this all turns out. Mind you, the backdrop of all this, we're talking about 200,000 COVID-19 cases per day and record number of hospitalizations and deaths throughout the United States of America. Right now, we're on pace to having the deadliest year of the United States history with 3.2 million deaths we're on pace to have. And that's going to be 400,000 more deaths than there were last year. Mind you, the increase in deaths is obviously mostly due to the pandemic, but it's still a lot of people dying, and it's a lot of other deaths we have to worry about too. 3.2 million. Everybody stay woke, y'all, and stay focused out here. Green War and Graduation. Report of the New World, though the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So yeah, I'm on the move right now, but still gotta let y'all know what's happening. We actually have Trump actually giving out a bunch of pardons yesterday. 15 pardons with 7 commutations. Commutations being the shortening of prison sentences for those who ain't in the know. But these pardons are very interesting. I mean, typically the pardons are reserved for people who just objectively should be given some leniency by the criminal system. But Trump shit ain't been regular the whole time he been up in that motherfucking office. But this whole pardoning thing is no different. Now let me run down some of these pardons. Of course, he pardoned his homie George Papadopoulos, whatever, former foreign policy campaign advisor, right? But then you have also him giving pardons to 4 Blackwater mercenaries, basically. Blackwater being a contract group that was actually out there in Iraq, doing some killing, right? You know what I mean? Just to be frank, on behalf of the U.S. Well, these 4 black men in particular, one of them included this man Michael Slatton or whatever, like that. Actually, were he was found guilty and sentencing life in prison for partaking in the massacre, the 2007 Nissan Square massacre, where they actually ended up murdering 17 civilians, including one 9-year-old kid. So this was a big deal. It was obviously seen as like just cold-blooded murder with no sense of doing anything. Now keep in mind that Blackwater was founded by Eric Prince, who's actually the brother of who was a Trump ally, and the brother of Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, right? So then you also have 2 former Border Patrol agents. Now that Nissan Square massacre, for the record, happened in 2006, right? So then 2007, pardon me. But in 2006, these 2 Border Patrol agents had actually murdered this Mexican man. The Border Patrol agents are Jose Compeyan and Ignacio Ramos. They actually murdered this Mexican man that was trying to cross into the country, and then they tried to cover it up. So they got pardoned, and then there was also 3 congressmen that were pardoned who were actually like Trump allies. It's pretty obvious or whatever. Like you had Duncan Hunter, pardon me, who actually was found guilty of misusing campaign funds. Then you have Chris Collins, who was guilty of insider trading, and then you have Steve Stockman, who actually was convicted of basically stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars of charitable donations. And then you have on the good side, you have 3 women who were actually given pardons for nonviolent drug offenses. But and for those who don't know, George Papadopoulos, he was actually found guilty of lying to the FBI. I mentioned him in BFN World Broadcast number 12. I'm rapping about that, and just the whole Trump administration, this and all of that. So more shady shit going on from the Trump administration at this point. Hey, y'all, I don't know who gonna see this from the future or whenever, but we've been dealing with this for 4 years already. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't really nothing different, even though it should be alarming. Green War and graduation, though. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So Trump is actually getting his pardon and on, and expecting to do more pardons in these next up-and-coming weeks. But you have the United Nations special reporter on torture that's actually urging Trump to give a pardon to Julian Assange. Julian Assange being the founder of WikiLeaks, and somebody who has been revered by the Republicans since the information that WikiLeaks had leaked that was most notable and most recent actually shows some shady shit that Hillary Clinton was doing. You know what I'm saying? That was done by the Democrats or whatever. Obviously, it was a lot of things leaking out during the Obama presidency or whatever. So it's like the Republicans have been like, yay to WikiLeaks. So it'd be surprising if they don't grant a pardon to somebody like him, or even somebody like a Ed Snowden. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would say a lot about Holmes' character, who pretend that he actually for uncovering and for the people and revealing shit or whatever. That'll expose, I already know what time it is, but that'll expose him to a lot of y'all Trumpers. You know what I'm saying? But also he's actually apparently considering getting basically granting immunity to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for apparently a plot to assassinate a former top Saudi intelligence officer that now lives in Canada. Now, such a grant of immunity will actually protect him from being prosecuted by the United States for the murder of former Saudi Washington Post writer Jamal Khashoggi. Because if y'all remember, this is somebody that got straight up chopped up in the motherfucking in the embassy out there in Turkey. So you know what I'm saying? So it's the fact that you could come out here and just kill a U.S. citizen or whatever, chop him up at that, and they put his body in the fucking fire and all of that, burnt that shit, whatever. A lot of that being caught on tape. You seen how big that blade was that they used and all of that, whatever. Like the fact that this is actually out here and this is happening, but yet the government of the U.S. still wants to do business with Saudi Arabia, and there's been like really no mention of it by Donald Trump. I mean, I just feel like that just shows what time it is, y'all. But hey, man, maybe some of y'all gotta find out the hard way. Green War and Graduation. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. I know it's getting dark, pardon me, but listen to my words, please, because they are important and let you know what's going on out here. Make sure you check out blackfoxnews.com/shop too if you actually want to support the movement. Actually get yourself some hoodies and some paraphernalia that can actually raise the awareness of those around you and of yourself when you're looking in the mirror. You know what I mean? That voice for the people, the voice for the people right there, who take that very seriously. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no choice once you put that on, but it can still look spiffy too. We got it in all different colors, shapes, and sizes that match anything in your wardrobe. But let's get to this news though. There's a new report that was actually put out by the Citizen Lab up there at the University of Toronto in Canada, for those who are in North America and maybe dumb. You know what I mean? You don't know what the fuck Toronto is? Like, they even got the Raptors. They got a basketball team. Anyway, they actually have revealed, they put out a report that shows that 36 journalists from Al Jazeera, shout out to Al Jazeera, a very high quality, reputable news site, right? And news platform that's all over the world. You got stations all over the world. They actually 36 journalists were actually have been hacked. Their information have been hacked and exploited or whatever now by apparently the Israeli firm known as NSO. Now, the Citizen Lab was able to uncover this because they basically track this software known as Pegasus, which allows people to essentially exploit and monitor hacked devices. So, but it'll basically allow you to basically see this how you're seeing it on your phone. Somebody can actually see what you're seeing. Shit, they can see what I'm actually giving you because they looking through my phone, whatever. If this device or your device was hacked. Now, it is believed that Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates were behind the hackings. We'll see how this turns out. Green War and Graduation. This reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. I gotta keep it real for the media people and all the journalists out there, because we all we got, and right now we living in dangerous times where they actually trying to silence the truth. And when I say they, I'm talking about powers that be, governments, powerful corporations, and all of that. Right now they just trying to consolidate powers at a rapid rate, and people that are exposing these things are being put in danger. The committee, there's been a report that's been put out by the Committee to Protect Journalists that have actually found that the number of murders of journalists who've been murdered in retaliation for their work has more than doubled this year, reaching 30. And with the top countries being the top most dangerous countries for journalists being Mexico, Afghanistan, and Philippines, in that order. And keep in context what these nations got going on over there. Now, over in Mexico, this is related news or whatever. You actually have a former mayor from a small town in the state of Chihuahua actually was arrested for complicity in the murder for a murder that took place in 2017 of a journalist for La Jornada, Miroslava Breach. Hugo Ahmed Schultz was actually also accused of actually giving information to organized crime function to actually allow them and provide them the powers and the ability to actually murder this woman. So, and when I say Mexico is the most dangerous place for a journalist, I'm saying, this is somebody that was covering the trade war, the drug war, pardon me, not the trade war, the drug war in 2017, and she was murdered. So, when I say that's the most dangerous place in the world right now for journalists, ain't no lies there. Green War and Graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So over there in Israel, there's actually been a triggering of the automatic dissolution of Parliament after they failed to pass the budget on Tuesday for actually the Israeli government. So now they're headed to their fourth national election in only 2 years. And mind you, people are still protesting, trying to get Benjamin Netanyahu the fuck up out of here, who was the prime minister and now was in like a power sharing deal with Benny Gantz after basically damn near losing the election, the last national election, whatever. And mind you, they're trying to get Netanyahu out of there because of his corruption charges. He's dealing with several, as well as how he's handled the COVID-19 pandemic. Green War and Graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So on Monday night in East Jerusalem, Israeli forces shot and killed another Palestinian teenager in this ongoing fight that's been between the Israelis and the Palestinians, with Israelis catching way more bodies than the Palestinians do. 17-year-old Mahmoud Omar Kamil was actually from the West Bank. Green War and Graduation. And keep in mind that the United Nations already has reports out saying that Israelis are committing human rights atrocities against these Palestinians. And if you ask me, from what I could see and from what many people who are even paying attention to that shit could see, this is the work of Benjamin Netanyahu, and by default the work of the United States, because we give them motherfuckers a lot of money to enforce their or to prop up their military, you know what I mean? So that's what it is. So Green War and Graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So earlier this week in Toronto, the body of human rights activist exiled from Pakistan, Karima Marab Baloch, was actually found. Her husband says that she actually went out for a walk while they were in Toronto, Canada. She went out for a walk on Sunday and she never returned home. Her body was found the next day. This is somebody who back in 2016 was named by the news outlet BBC as one of the 100 most influential women working in human rights. And this is somebody who was exiled from Pakistan for her human rights work. Keep in mind, earlier this year there was another human rights activist exiled from Pakistan, journalist Sajid Hussain, who was also found dead in Sweden. So seems like there's a pattern. Green War and Graduation. What other New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So over in Cali, Governor Gavin Newsom has actually appointed Secretary of State Alex Padilla to actually be the U.S. Senator that replaces Kamala Harris as she goes on to be the Vice President of the U.S. This is actually somebody who is, Latino, and will be the first Latino to ever hold that Senate seat for the state of California, which is 40% Latinos. Now, this is actually there's actually a video that Gavin Newsom had posted on his Twitter of Alex Padilla actually talking about how his family upbringing has shaped his political work. He's a family of Mexican immigrants, and he actually is, this is somebody that people are excited about on the progressive side, obviously. Somebody being a person of color. Once Kamala Harris leaves, there will actually be no black female senators in the U.S. So we'll see how this shapes out. Green War and Graduation. Report out of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So the U.S. Justice Department is actually filing a lawsuit against Walmart, the supermarket giant, for basically their role in the fueling the opioid crisis. The lawsuit accuses Walmart of filling thousands of invalid prescriptions for opioids. And also for not reporting any suspicious opioid prescriptions, and for pressuring employees to actually fill orders quickly, even if they weren't for valid medical purposes. Keep all of this in mind, as in the past 20 years in the United States, there have been 450,000 people who actually died from opioid overdose. Green War and Graduation. Report out of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So make sure you check out blackfoxnews.com/shop to actually support the movement, continue to support us as we continue to support y'all. You know what I mean? You see me in this iceberg BFN hoodie, you know what I'm saying? We got other hoodies and paraphernalia, different colors, shapes, and sizes. Go ahead, put that on. Raise the consciousness level up of those around you, including yourself when you look in the mirror. You know what I mean? When people see that Voice for the People logo, you know what I mean? it says something. You know what I mean? You can't really wear that and take it lightly. I don't think other people will either. You see, I don't. It's a lot of energy in this logo right here. But definitely support us as we continue to support y'all. Now onto this news. Over in Tacoma, Washington, where they have the Northwest Detention Center, jailing a lot of migrants. According to an immigration advocacy group known as La Resistencia, there are actually at least 20 prisoners who are actually on hunger strike, demanding that the conditions change because they feel like the conditions set at the detention center aren't protecting the prisoners from this pandemic, and also demanding that people with pre-existing conditions, medical conditions, be released. You have one as asylum seeker in particular, Victor Fonseca, who according to La Resistencia has been on hunger strike for over a month, and was being force-fed by the guards of the Northwest Detention Center. He's awaiting deportation now, and he even had a message in saying, like, what do I have to lose? Like, I've already lost everything. I've lost my freedom, I've lost my family, I've lost my children, and I might as well do this because otherwise I'm gonna die here. And that's the dire condition of people that's out here just trying to find some freedom and supposed liberty and pursuit of happiness that's supposed to exist in the United States. We'll see what happens though. Green Wall and graduation. Report of the New World, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News report. So in Chicago on Tuesday, over 1,500 essential workers actually staged a one-day strike, walking off the job and protest demanding safer work conditions and hazard pay. You have hospital and health workers. You have workers with the Cook County clerk's office and employees from the sheriff's office, all saying that county officials have refused to negotiate with them as they continue to serve their frontline essential roles during the pandemic. So they're trying to bring these county officials to the table. I mean, 1,500 people in Chicago, that in one county, that's a lot of people to be walking off a job. So I'm sure that the institution felt that, but we'll see what turns out. I mean, motherfuckers just want to be able to provide for their families and stay safe and not get sick, and that's not really a hard ask. And I feel like you have somebody that like it's Reverend James Phipps, for example, who's actually part of the union, the SEIU's executive board, and this is somebody that was also a coordinator with SNCC during the civil rights movement. He's basically saying, we're just, people just fighting for their families and wanting to provide and make it, become economically stable during this pandemic. And the fact that the workers are able to help these officials and these companies like achieve their goals, but they're not being protected, like, what I'm saying, that's wrong. And I'll paraphrase the hell out of what he actually said, but that's pretty much what it is though. And it's to me, it's just about human decency. You know what I'm saying? It's, for some of y'all governments, it's the least y'all can motherfucking do. Green Wall and graduation though.